What is up YouTube? Ruben here, and today I'm going to show you guys this iMac right here that I actually got from a friend of mine on April 25th. So it's actually one of my neighbors who actually gave me this iMac. Now this is the early 2008 20-inch iMac. And that is actually an aluminum iMac. So yeah. Now let's talk about the iMac history. A quick one, to be exact. Now the iMac was formed in 1998. Now the computer clan, which I'll have the video in the description if you want to watch the full history of that iMac. Well, the iMac history, rather. So in 1998, they introduced the iMac, which was renamed as the iMac G3 by the time the iMac G4 came out. And the word iMac, well, you can call it the model, but the I stands for internet. So yeah. And then, as it approached somewhere in 2002, I suppose, they introduced the iMac G4. And then followed by the iMac G5 in somewhere around 2003 or 2004. And then around 2006, they kept the polycarbonate design, now under the new name, the polycarbonate iMac. Yeah, the reason why is because of the transition from PowerPC to Intel processors, which is what this iMac has, which we'll get to that when we get to the specs. And then, as we approach somewhere around 2007, they redesigned the iMac to look like this, which is going to be called the aluminum iMac. So, there you go. And then, around 2009, they just made some changes to actually become a 16:9, or pretty much a wider design. So, yeah. Don't remember the real name for that type of iMac. Somewhere around 2007, 2008. I think they have a different name, but I know 2009 would be like, oh, you know what? It's the unibody iMac. That's 2009 through 2011. And then in 2012, they actually redesigned the iMac to make it thinner. And this is where the super drive actually becomes phased out. So now they call it things like, I know the Retina iMac came out. Don't remember the name of that. So yeah. And then around 2017, they actually made a new workstation based out of the iMac. And that's called the iMac Pro, which got discontinued in 2021. Somewhere around the spring. And then, as we approach 2021, they actually redesigned the iMac completely. And now they call themselves the M1 iMac, or now they call it the Apple Silicon iMac, as we're starting to transition from Intel processors to Apple Silicon. If you don't know what Apple Silicon is, it is basically Apple's customized ARM processor that would replace Intel. And once that hits, you can only install apps from the App Store. If you guessed it correctly, I could be wrong about it. So yeah. Now let's get to the specs. Well, actually, first of all, we gotta go through the iMac. So let's get this started. So on the front, you might not see it, but you'll see the iSight camera right there, which the picture quality is not the greatest, running at 640 by 480, but the audio quality is much better than what you get on computers from that age. And then we got the 20-inch screen right there, and then you got the Apple logo. And on the bottom, this is where you upgrade the RAM. And then on the back, this is the top vent right here. We also got the Apple logo. And hidden right here is the vent for the CPU. And then going through the back, we got the headphone jack. And let me focus that. We got the headphone jack. This is going to be your line in, line out port. This should also be your microphone port. And then we have three USB 2.0 ports. This thing is too old for USB 3.0, of course. Then you got Firewire 400, Firewire 800, Ethernet, and then mini VGA. And then, you might not see it well, but you got the power supply. And then, of course, you got the power button. And then you got this L-shaped stand right there to actually keep the iMac in place. And that's pretty much it for what you got on the iMac. And also with that design, you will get a micro SD card. No, actually, a standard SD card reader, which this iMac does not have. So now let's get to the real deal, the specs. So this one has a 2.4 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo E8135. Now, this is actually exclusive for the iMac, so it was never made available for Windows computers. And this is actually a mobile processor, and it's only designed for the iMac. And this one has 1 gig of RAM, and this is DDR2, I suppose, running at 533 megahertz. It should be PC2 6400 RAM, so there you go. And then it has a 250 gig hard drive. I think it's a Toshiba or something. I had to check that in System Profiler, and it's running macOS X 10. I think it's 8. I know it's Snow Leopard, so I better rerun through about this Mac. So yeah, and it's running 32-bit, by the way. So there you go. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and set up the iMac and just power it on. So I'll be back. Alright, I set up the iMac, so now let's power it on. Sorry, no smoke test. Oh, crap, it's kind of confusing. Nope, it's the other way. Oh yeah, the good old Apple chime, which actually got updated in the MacBook Pro that came out around 2019 or 2020. But still a good sound though. And you can also see this. Yeah, the scrolling loading bar. Well, circling around. Whereas in the newer versions, you actually get the loading bar as you would since macOS Yosemite. And we're in the iMac running, and now we're running macOS Snow Leopard, and I actually have one of these videos right here that I actually edited. This is actually edited on this Mac. And I am going to publish that one. So yeah. Now this camera's out of focus. Now let's go to the Apple logo about this Mac. And it's running macOS X 10.6.8. And here's your processor right there. So yeah, and let's go to more info. Kind of wondering what type of hard drive it has. As you can see, it is an iMac 8,1 with an Intel Core 2 Duo running at 2.4 gigahertz. And it's a dual core, and I think it's 2 cores and 2 threads. So yeah. Now let's go through what it has. ATA, of course, will be your optical drive. Right there. Firewire. Like I said, it's up to 800 megabits per second. And then for graphics, which a lot of people ask for graphics, this one has an ATI Radeon HD 2400 XT running at 128 megabytes. So yeah. And now, back to the disk burning. No, I won't be doing rush strategies like the last time with the iBook G4 that I did back in 2018. Now this one has, for CD, it supports CDR and CDRW. DVD supports DVD-R, DVD-R dual layer, DVD-RW, DVD plus R, DVD plus R dual layer, and DVD plus RW. Now for SATA, of course, 250 gig hard drive, and it is an Hitachi. As you can see, 250 gig. And I think it's running at 7,200 RPM. So there you go. Now it's difficult to get to the program, so I'll just go ahead and open up Finder and click on Applications. I'll just scroll through each one. Now, it does have Clean My Mac, which I'm probably not going to use. It does have Google Chrome, the last version of Google Chrome to support this operating system. And of course you can read this yourself. Now let's open up some programs. So let's start off with iMovie, since I actually have I actually have two videos actually tested with iMovie, and they actually run very good. Believe it or not, I actually edited two videos: a photo transit, a Navi video, and that video I just mentioned when I booted it up. Here you go, iMovie. Probably not going to edit more. So yeah. Let's open up Pages. This is basically Microsoft Word, but under the Apple term. I'll just go with the blank document. And I'm going to type in everyone's favorite. Hello. So let's try this. I'm going to increase the size to 72. I'm going to bold it, italicize it, underline it. I'm going to make this centered. There is no strike through though. So this is what I got. Well, I'm going to go ahead and not save that. I'm going to close it and hit don't save. Now let's open up here's Expose, which I'm pretty sure I'm never going to use that. Let's open up, hold on, let's open up Keynote. It's basically PowerPoint, again, under the Apple term, and it's part of the iWork. Let's go with the white. So, bam, here's the pages. So, yeah. I guess I never told you some of the drivers. Well, the hardware. Let's see. Ethernet cards. This is it. Now for Ethernet, this one has a Marvel Yukon gigabit adapter. This is an 88E8055. And that's an Ethernet controller. For the airport driver, well, the airport card, of course. Boy. Hold on, let me find. Modems, of course. Nothing in there. Card reader, of course, doesn't have one. This one doesn't have a hardware RAID enabled. And here's the memory. Okay, so the memory is 800 megahertz. So yeah. And I can do a trick like that. It's pretty much not much I can think of. Well, actually, let's open up Google Chrome, since a lot of people actually use it. So let's open up Google Chrome. Here it is, Google Chrome, and as you can see, it's going to be unsupported. So yeah, there you go. And now let's open up Safari. Or actually, let's open up iTunes, since some people might ask for iTunes. There you go. So that's iTunes. Now let's see what version we're running. Where is about? There you go. About iTunes. It's running iTunes 11.4 from 2014. So, yeah, I guess you could say that could be the last version of iTunes for this operating system. So, yeah. And now, let's open up the final program, which is Safari, which I need to find that. Well, actually, I have a better way. Go to Spotlight and type in Safari. Alright. Let's open up Safari. There you go. Of course, there is no internet, so obviously it's gonna fail to load page. But it's running Safari 5.1.10 from 2013. So there you go. And now let's get to the conclusion. So in conclusion, is it worth it? Probably not. But if you probably would, then I could say yes, if you're gonna use it for legacy programming or some light video editing like I did with iMovie with 2 videos already edited. So yeah. So the iMac from this generation is probably not what I'm going for, but hey, at least they took a look at it. So yeah. And the reason why I actually have this iMac is because this is actually an all-in-one desktop computer. Of course, you got the monitor, but with a computer in there. Yeah, you got the motherboard, you got the CPU, the RAM, the hard drive, pretty much everything in one single monitor. and it also has external display, which of course has many VGA. So that's pretty much it for the iMac. And now I can show you guys something that is not related to the iMac. Actually, two things. Let's go to my living room, which is my old spot. And I need to turn the flashlight on for that. We got a new dog. Yeah, believe it or not, on May 20th, we actually got a brand new dog. And it's a boy. His name is Loki, which I need to turn the light on for that. Hey, Loki. Well, actually, his name is now Scooby. We actually had 3 names for that. Also, Loki, and then finally, Scooby. And that is what his name is right now. Hold on. What's up, Scooby? How is it, boy? He's probably tired. And over here, yes, I still got Estrella. What's up, little girl? Hey, Estrella. Of course, she's being so cute. And of course, she's still with me, obviously. And I actually need to replace the door because I actually broke the door. It's getting too old, and in fact, I had some personal issues on Memorial Day. Which I'll have to talk to you in private for that on Instagram or Twitter or on Facebook. And speaking of that, you can follow my Instagram at Ruben the Transit Fan or Ruben's Transit Hub. And you can also follow me on Twitter at RubenApodicio17. So yeah. So well, that's it for the. Oh, and I have one more item that I can show you. The HP Stream 14. If you don't know what model it is, here it is. It's an HP Stream 14-FQ0037NR. And I will do the unboxing video just after this video. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. So, thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. So, and I just said the social media, so I'm not going to tell you that again. So, that's it, folks. This is the review of the early 2008 20-inch iMac from Apple, known as the iMac 8,1. So, I'll see you next time.